Perfect Wisdom, with the divisions of the Abhishamailamkara. Translated by EdwardConze. University of California Press, Berkeley, Los Angeles, London. Translation of the Sutra. Chapter 52. The Fulfillment of Skill in the Six Perfections. The Identity of Nirvana and Samsara. Sariputra. Then, Subhuti, the bodhisattva, the great being, who in his dreams enters into the three concentrations, emptiness, the signless, the wishless, does he then grow in perfect wisdom? Subhuti. If, then, Sariputra, he grows through the development by day, then he also grows in a dream. And why? Because dream and waking are indiscriminate. If the bodhisattva who courses by day in the perfection of wisdom has a development of the perfection of wisdom, then also the bodhisattva, the great being, who dreams will have a development of the perfection of wisdom. Sariputra. If again, then, Subhuti, the bodhisattva, the great being, does a deed in his dream, will there be of that deed a heaping up or accumulation? If all dharmas are said to be like a dream, there will be no heaping up or accumulation of it. And why? Because in a dream no heaping up or accumulation of a dream can be apprehended. But when one wakes up and thinks it over, then there is a heaping up or accumulation of it. Subhuti. One who had committed a murder in his dream, and, on waking, would think it over like this: he has been well killed by me. It is right that he was killed, it is just that he was killed, it was I who killed him. Such thoughts are equivalent to the conscious notion that he wants to kill someone. Sariputra. Not without an objective support does a deed arise, or an act of will. Subhuti. So it is, Sariputra, not without an objective support does a deed arise or an act of will. Only with an objective support is a deed produced, or an act of will, and not without. In seen, heard, and known dharmas does intelligence proceed, and not in unseen, unheard, unknown dharmas. Therein some intellectual acts take hold of defilement, and some of purification. Therefore, then, Sariputra, it is with an objective support a deed or act of will arises and not without objective support. Sariputra. If, then, Subhuti, the bodhisattva, the great being, in his dream would give gifts, guard morality, perfect himself in patience, exert vigor, enter the trances and develop wisdom, and would turn that wholesome route over to full enlightenment, would it actually become turned over by him into full enlightenment? Subhuti. Maitreya, this bodhisattva, this great being, has experienced this face to face, he is bound to only one more birth, his irreversibility has been declared by the Lord, he should be asked, he will dispose of this. Maitreya. As the then Subhuti, the elder, has said, Maitreya, this bodhisattva, this great being, has experienced this face to face, he is bound to one more birth only, his irreversibility has been declared by the Lord, he should be asked, he will dispose of this. Will now that designation, Maitreya, the bodhisattva, the great being, dispose of this matter, or will form dispose of it, or feeling? The emptiness of form, that is not capable of disposing, replying. The suchness of form, that is not capable of disposing. I do not review see that dharma which would dispose, or by which one would dispose, or wherein one would dispose. Nor that dharma which has been predicted, or wherein it has been predicted. All these dharmas are non-dual and undivided. Sariputra. Have by you these dharmas then perhaps been realized in the way in which you teach this dharma? Maitreya. No, they have not. Then it occurred to the then Sariputra. Profoundly wise surely is Maitreya, this bodhisattva, this great being, how he makes this explanation after he has coursed for a long time in the six perfections and in baselessness. The Lord. What do you think, Sariputra, do you see review? That dharma by which you are dignified as an arhat? Sariputra. No indeed, O Lord. The Lord. In the same way, Subhuti, it does not occur to the bodhisattva, the great being, who courses in the perfection of wisdom. That good dharma is being predicted. That good dharma has been predicted. That good dharma fully knows the utmost, right, and perfect enlightenment. Coursing thus, the bodhisattva, the great being, courses in the perfection of wisdom. Nor does there arise a doubt in him. I will not know fully the utmost, right, and perfect enlightenment. I will just know fully the utmost, right, and perfect enlightenment, that he knows. One who courses thus, he courses in the perfection of wisdom. Thus coursing the bodhisattva, the great being, will not tremble, will not be frightened or terrified. Not shall I not fully know the utmost, right, and perfect enlightenment. But just I will fully know the utmost, right, and perfect enlightenment. The purity of the Buddha field. Subhuti. How, O Lord, does the bodhisattva, the great being, fulfill the 6 perfections and come near to the knowledge of all modes? The Lord. Here, Subhuti, the bodhisattva, the great being, who courses in the perfection of giving should, having seen beings who are hungry, thirsty, ill-housed, ill-clad, and devoid of beds and seats, consider as follows. Just so will I course in the perfection of giving that, when I have won full enlightenment, all these faults of those beings will in each and every way not take place and not be conceived. Just like the possessions enjoyed by the various classes of gods. From the gods belonging to the 4 great kings, to the highest gods, so will be the possessions enjoyed by the beings in that Buddha field. When he courses thus, the bodhisattva, the great being, fulfills the perfection of giving and comes near to full enlightenment. Moreover, Subhuti, the bodhisattva, the great being, who courses in the perfection of morality, having seen beings who take life, take what is not given, commit sexual misconduct, speak falsely, speak harshly, speak maliciously, prattle away, are covetous, with minds full of ill will, with false views, short-lived, with many afflictions, with many troubles, ugly to look at, insignificant, with few possessions, of low-class families, badly dressed, and mutilated, he should thus consider. In such a way will I course in the perfection of morality that, when I have won full enlightenment, in that Buddha field those beings will not have those faults and that they will not even be conceived. Thus coursing, the bodhisattva, the great being, fulfills the perfection of morality, and comes near to full enlightenment. Moreover, Subhuti, the bodhisattva, the great being, who courses in the perfection of patience, having seen beings who are full of ill will for each other, and having seen beings who belabor each other with clods, beatings, and swords, rob each other of their lives, and use staffs, clubs, and so on each other, he should consider thus. In such a way will I course in the perfection of patience that, when I have won full enlightenment, in that Buddha field those beings shall not have these faults, that they shall become inconceivable. And the minds of all beings will become like that of a mother, father, brother, sister, son, or daughter. When he courses thus, the bodhisattva, the great being, fulfills the perfection of patience and comes near to full enlightenment. Moreover, Subhuti, the bodhisattva, the great being, who courses in the perfection of vigor, having seen beings who are of little vigor, lazy, indolent, averse from making efforts, trivial beings who have set out in the 3 vehicles, the disciple vehicle, the pratyeka Buddha vehicle, or the bodhisattva vehicle, he will thus consider. So will I practice the perfection of vigor that, when I have won full enlightenment, in that Buddha field those beings shall not have those faults, and that they shall become inconceivable. When he courses thus, the bodhisattva, the great being, fulfills the perfection of vigor and comes near to full enlightenment. Moreover, Subhuti, the bodhisattva, the great being, who courses in the perfection of meditation, Having seen beings who proceed with the 5 hindrances, with the obstacles of sense desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, excitedness and sense of guilt, and doubt. Beings who are bewildered, confused in their mindfulness, who are lacking in the 4 trances, in friendliness, compassion, sympathetic joy and impartiality, and in the 4 formless attainments, he should thus consider. In such a way will I practice the perfection of meditation that when I have won full enlightenment, in that Buddha field those beings shall not have these faults and that they shall become inconceivable. When he courses thus, the bodhisattva, the great being, fulfills the perfection of meditation and comes near to full enlightenment. Moreover, Subhuti, the bodhisattva, the great being, who courses in the perfection of wisdom, having seen beings who are stupid and devoid of wisdom, who are devoid of either mundane or supramundane right views, who teach that actions have no karmic result, who teach nihilism, annihilation, eternity, and oneness, otherness or bothness, he should thus consider. Thus will I practice the perfection of wisdom that, when I have won full enlightenment, in that Buddha field those beings shall not have those faults, and that they shall become inconceivable. When he courses thus, the